Hello, hello. My name is Ethan, and today we're going to go through Guided Project 3-3 or Blue Lake-03, and I'm going to give you a guided walkthrough on how to complete the assignment. So without further ado, let's begin. First, obviously open the Excel file, and as per usual, if there's enable editing right here, make sure you click enable editing so that you can work on this protected spreadsheet, and the name should change to automatically include your name, but if it doesn't, make sure you take a minute here just to change it, manually change it so that includes your name. Perfect. So in this exercise, we are going to create some graphs. So create a pie chart to represent the data that we created in an earlier assignment. So we're going to move to the revenue by department tab at the bottom here. And we're going to select cells A4 to F4. So each of the locations, the department and the locations. And we're going to press and hold Control, and we're going to so select A4 to F4. We're going to scroll to the bottom here, and we're going to press and hold Control, and we're going to select the associated row for golf here. We're then going to go to the Insert tab. We're going to click on Insert Pie Chart or Donut Chart here, and we're going to click on 3D Pie. So I'm going to move it off to the side here just so we have a bit of room. So we want to make sure that we're selecting the chart here, and we want to go to the chart design tab if we're not there already. Click the down arrow here, and we're going to click on style 3. So it should look something like this. And then we're going to size and position a chart object. So we're going to point to the chart object to display the move pointer. So you should see the 4 arrows. And we're going to drag it so that its top right corner is at H4. So I've already kind of done this, but we're just going to make it nice and somewhat aligned to H4, the top right corner of H4 there. We are going to then point to the, I'm going to scroll out a little bit. We're going to point to the bottom right corner here so we get the 2 diagonal arrows, and we're going to stretch this chart so that it is the goes to the bottom right corner of Q19, so something like that. Perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of has to go around there, be in the general area. So now that we've resized our chart here, what we want to do is we want to explode the San Diego portion, which basically means we want to kind of isolate it from the rest of the pie chart, emphasize it almost. So what we want to do is we want to double click on the purple part, the San Diego. Make sure we double click until we've only got 3 dots on the San Diego part. There shouldn't be any dots here, here, or here on any of the other parts here. In the side panel here in the format data point, we want to go to series options right here, and we want to, under point explosion, we want to bump this up to 10%. Hit enter, and you can see what Excel does is it, like I said, it will separate this chunk as to kind of emphasize maybe the total golf sales are really high in San Diego. We then want to close this pane. I'm going to drag this back over, and we're going to deselect the chart. We then want to display and format data labels. So we are going to, I guess I'll move back over here. We want to click the chart elements quick button, so the plus sign here, and we want to click on the data labels arrow here, and we're going to click on more options. It's going to pull up that tab here. Let's move the chart over just so we have a bit of room. We want to verify that the label options we want to verify, yep, that label options is selected. We're in this tab here, and we want to select the category name box right here. We then are going to go to separator here, click on the drop down box. We're going to go to space. We're then going to go to the paint bucket up here, the fill and line tab. We're going to go to the fill category and click no fill. So this removes the black background behind each of the numbers here. And then we're going to close the pane. So what we did is we basically just added San Diego, and then we added the actual percentage we actually added the name and the percentage to each pie slice here. We're going to then delete the legend. Moving on to step 7, we're going to delete the legend and recolor and position their data labels. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the legend here. We're going to uncheck legend from our drop-down list, and it should remove the legend. Or alternatively, you could just manually delete it and it will uncheck it for you. Then what we want to do is moving on to 7D, we're going to select our chart here, make sure that we're in the Format tab. In the current selection, we want to change this down arrow to Series, Golf, Data Labels. We're going to click Enter, and you can see that now all the labels and percentages are all selected. We are going to click the Text Fill button. So we're going to go to Format, we're going to go to Word Art, and Text Fill, this very top one here. And we're going to choose black 1, text 1, the second column here. Awesome. So now that the text is in black, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we select only San Diego, and we're going to, oh, not that. We are going to select San Diego, and we're going to drag the text box. Make sure we only drag the text box and not the shape like I was doing before. And we are going to drag it out so that it is not within the pie here. And instead, what Excel is going to do is it's going to add a line linking San Diego to the number here. So you should then be provided with figure 3-81, which basically kind of gives you a layout of where each of these labels is supposed to go. So I will move them roughly to where they're supposed to go. Again, this isn't an exact science, but the main, and make sure you don't do that. And the main reason we're doing this, right, is because you can see Boston and Chicago were kind of overlapping each other. Makes it hard to read. So doing this increases readability. Perfect. So your pie chart should look something like this. If you make any errors, like I did, where you accidentally grab and start expanding this, you can hit Control Z to undo that error. And once you're done, click a worksheet cell outside of this just to stop editing our chart here. So moving on to step 8, what we want to do is we want to select cells A22 to B26, so the city name and the totals here. We're going to click on the little box down here, click on charts, click on clustered bar, make sure it's the horizontal version, and we should get a chart that looks something like this. We are going to then drag and move the chart so that the top right corner is at C21 and the bottom right corner is somewhere near L40. So something like this. Again, it's not an exact science. We're then going to apply a chart style to this chart. So we're going to go to chart design. If you're not there already, hit the down arrow, and we're going to select style 3. Then what we want to do is we want to format the data labels, and so what that is going to mean is that we're going to select any one of the numbers on each of the bars. We're going to go to Home, and we're going to hit the Increase Font Size button a couple times, or a few times until we get to size 16. And you should notice that each of the dollar amounts increases to 16. We then want to triple click the chart title so that we're actually selecting the placeholder text. And we are going to type in the words total sales by city. Close this. This doesn't need to be open. We're then going to move on to step 12. What we want to do is we're going to open this chart elements tab by clicking the plus. We're going to look at axes just to open this, just so we can see if I delete this, you can see that it unchecks primary horizontal. Alternatively, you could have just unselected it from there and it would have done the same thing. But either way, we don't want that horizontal axis, so we want to get rid of that. We then want to click the chart here, get rid of that elements pop-up, and we're going to go to Format at the top here, go to the down arrow here, and we're going to click on Vertical Category Axis. So it's going to select all of the cities for our sales chart here. We're then going to click we're going to click on the Shape Effects button right here in the Format tab, in the Shape Styles, Shape Effects, and we are going to go to Shadow, and we're going to do Offset bottom right. So that's top right, bottom right. So now our city names have a bit of an indent. Maybe pops out better on the table. Okay, last little thing we have to do in step 12 is we want to select on our chart. We're going to go Format, hit the down arrow here. Again, hit Vertical Category Axis, so we're selecting all of our categories here, or all of our cities here. We're going to hit the plus sign, axes. We're going to hit the arrow. We're going to go to More Options, and we're going to tick the box here, Categories in Reverse Order. So now Boston, which has the highest sales, is at the very top, and the list is then decreasing in value. Moving on to step 13, we might want to add some alt text for increased accessibility. So we're going to right click. We're going to close this panel first. We're going to right click here at the border of our chart here. And we're going to click on View Alt Text or Edit Alt Text, whatever pops up. And then you should see this box here, and we're going to type in the box where you can type in any alt text you want related to this image. We are going to type in the words, "This is a bar chart which displays total in descending order." You can select individual data point to apply a fill color. And this is just in the assignment there, what I'm copying down. Awesome. Okay, perfect. So then once we are done with this, we're going to close this, and we're going to go to the very top and select cell A1. Next, we are going to insert sparklines in a worksheet. So we are going to click the first period worksheet tab. So we're going to go back to this first period tab here. We're going to select cells B19 to E19, so not the total, just these four here. We are going to go to the Insert tab. We're going to go to Spark Lines, Grouping, and we're going to click on Line Spark Lines. It's going to pop up with this box. It's going to ask for the location range. We want let's see, I-19, so this cell right here to be our location. We're going to click OK, and this is going to give us a quick spark lines, right? So a quick little graph showing showing that we started off at 30 grand, we bumped up really high to about 57 grand, and then we went back down to our average of 30 grand. So a little chart there. Then what we want to do is we want to go home. We want to click the format. In the cells button or the cells group, we want to click on format. We're going to go and change row height to 35. We're going to go back to format here. We're going to change column width to 40. Click OK. Then in the Sparkline tab, we're going to tick the box that says markers. So now you can see dots where we are pointing out our data. We're then going to go to the more in the style selection here. And we're going to choose brown Sparkline style accent 6. So one of these is it. So 6. Right here. Yep, perfect brown Sparkline style accent 6, darker 50%. So this one up here. So it's the first row, last column. Oops, that would have been helpful if I read that first. We're then going to apply outside borders to this cell. So we're going to go home. We're going to hit the down arrow here, and we're going to click on outside borders. We're going to click the row 4 here, which is the header of all our months and our totals. And we are going to go to, you can either right click, you can either use the format option up here, or we can right click, row height. We can change that to 35. Hit OK. We're going to select cell A1. And then we want to make sure that the page orientation is set to landscape. So we're going to go page orientation, or page layout, go to orientation, hit landscape. Perfect, and we should be done. Before you save and submit, I would make sure that your chart looks something similar to figure 3-83 in the very back, Excel 3-3 completed. Once you're confident with this and you're happy with the results, feel free to save and submit. So hopefully that helps.